So I work for the Assertive Contact and Engagement Service. So our job is to reach communities that are struggling with mental health and not accessing statutory services. So that could entail us referring them back into the statutory mental health services or treating them in the community. So they've got everything from women's refuges to women's only hostels. They support people in the tenancies, which would be a tenancy support service. They've got genetic hostels, which is like mixed hostels and men only hostels. They've got the Rough Sleepers initiative, where the outreach go out in the streets and try to engage homeless people who are living on the streets. And what else have they got? They've got lots of stuff like a recovery college, which is helping people get back into community living or social inclusion type of stuff. They've also got lots of different stuff. It's quite organic, so stuff grows out of other stuff. So the Wellbeing Service was an award-winning service. It got best practice in England, and it was quite radical at the time. All the other services used to have to do a long drawn-out assessment form to access therapy, and we were the first ones to do. People could turn up on a day and access therapy. There was no long drawn-out referral process. We had an open door, everyone was welcome, and it got recognised that it was a good treatment model. So we've extended it now, called it the Assertive Contact and Engagement Service, and it's got bigger. So we quadrupled our budget for the next 5 years. And we plan to, before we were only opened it for rough sleepers or people in danger of losing their tenancy. Now we've opened it to the general public. So lots of people who struggle with accessing doctors or mental health services for one reason or another, could be social anxiety and stuff like that, we'll gently try to engage them into services, or they might get the service with us. We've got therapists and we've got good connections with the local community, so anyone who presents with any type of problem, we can usually accommodate that. And if we can't, we offer the signposting service that would find them the right service for them. Just turn up at the Compass Centre. Basically, you can just turn up and it'll go from there. They'll probably get an assessment with the outreach service if housing is what they needed. And we run an open access, so anyone we have a couple of days a week where we have open access. It used to be a Monday and a Tuesday between 2 and 4. Anyone could turn up, referral or no referral. And we'd take it from there. We'd do like a bit of a triage thing on them, see what their needs were, and we'd try to access them what they needed. Well, it's just the nature of the beast, really, because quite frankly, there isn't the properties out there, you know, and a lot of services are geared, so you're meeting people where they're at, so they might have a destructive relationship, or the girl might not be assertive enough to say what she needs. So what they tend to do is house people individually, you know, individual needs. So I could see a problem with that straight away. If someone come in, a boy and a girl, a man and a woman, sorry, and the woman was getting abused, and the man was doing all the talking, it'd be quite inappropriate to house them both together. So they treat people as individuals, really, and look at the individual needs. So the original wet session it started off, there was a lot of old drunken males mainly, and females, but mainly males, drinking in and around the Stokes Croft area on the street, and they were quite vulnerable, they were ill health, and they were dying young. So the idea of the original wet provision was a safe space to drink for these older gentlemen, and also to get them in to see a doctor, maybe for the first time. Most places they were going to, they'd turn up with a can or a bottle of cider and they'd be refused access. Meanwhile, their health is deteriorating. So what we said, they could come in with a drink, we'd manage it, and we'd get them in to see the doctors, and it was quite successful. We've had quite a few success stories, people accessing things like detoxes and the doctors, and especially not being judged because of drinking. Well, we probably couldn't run it without volunteers. You know, they're an essential part of the service, and we really value our volunteers. I can only speak for the web provision and the wellbeing service. 8% of our volunteers in the wellbeing service ended up with paid employment, if that's what they wanted. So that was quite successful. They get really good training, and they bring a lot to the service. You know, they're not hampered down by policies and procedures, so they're like fresh eyes and all. I think it's got a massive homelessness problem. I know this weekend there was some agency counted 100 rough sleepers on the streets. There's a real housing crisis at the minute in Bristol. Yeah. It's not only the lack of affordable housing, it's no housing. They shut a lot of hostels down with the cuts. I know one particular hostel was Redwood House. There was 80 odd beds gone, and the private sector's been took up. I think it was this year, I don't know if it was this year or the year before, but the universities got overprescribed, and there was 1,500 overprescriptions at the university, so they got all the private sector housing, so that's left the homelessness 1,500 beds short. So, yeah, and then they're not building social housing. There's lots of contributing factors. Of course, yeah. I think we're left holding the baby really, so we're trying to manage people and manage people's anxiety, and it's quite a difficult job when there's nothing to give them hope. You know, there's not. I can't say to someone, "Oh, it'll be all right, it'll be a house," because it's not happening like that. I think it's up to the individual. You know, I've seen some real desperate cases on the street, and I've seen people manipulating the system on the streets. Me personally, I've given money. You know, quite a number of occasions. I've given money, I've given clothing, I've given whatever I can at that day. But yeah, because lots of people find it difficult just getting through the system. There's lots of mentally ill people on the streets, and they haven't got the ability to get through the phone systems even. So they're without benefits, they're without housing, and they're relying on charity.